Hello, good morning, and happy Tuesday. Uh, yes, I even remember to unmute the microphone. Excellent. Hello. Hello, Isitsu. How are you doing today? Okay, so we are continuing the create task. Right, that's what it was. With this error coming in our validations. Right, it's validations time. And we have this missing field title. And looking through this error, this is the most I can actually see from it, can I? Jason did error, Jason did error. Oh, that's fun. Error inner. I bet there's a way for me to extract out. So like before we begin a recording, I need to remember how do I get the error message itself. Let's also open up what are we using? We are using validator. Does this show how we can get, okay, so we found a unique username. We get the result with validation error. Oh, that gives us the username. I love how this is just 100% of the time returning the error terrible username. That's great. I love it. Okay, so we get a validation error. Oh, wasn't there a way for us to say what the validation error would be? I vaguely remember that. It's like custom errors or something. Message and code. Right. Okay. So we can set what the message is going to be. We can set what a code is going to be, which is going to be a string. But we don't care about that. We care about this. And then we should be able to extract it out, I think, possibly. But all right. Well, we'll get there. Cuz we don't want to capture and like look at this. We want to we're debugging the message, but I think there's a way for us to like to string it. Although this is like an array of them. So we have errors, debug errors. What can I do on this? Okay, so we can get errors, which gives us a hash map. Field error. Oh, okay, field error gives us a vector. Okay, so field errors. All right. I don't want to go too far into this because I want like part of this to be sort of the discovery of like showing how I solved it. So I think we're good. All right, so we got you open, we got you opened. Everything good, everything running. Okay. I believe last time you did this, you just turned it into a string once giving it a message. That vaguely makes sense, and it probably has a toString method on the error that we can debug out. That does seem right for it. But just looking down, it's okay. So we set the message, and then we do a toString on it. I could probably do the toString first, see that happens, and then set the message. That might be best. And then we have you showing something went wrong. Okay, let's dive into it. And it's create task, right? Yes. All right. I am back. It is the next day, and I'm ready to continue working on the create task. Well, tasks. So, reminding myself where we are. We are, let's see, running the test, and okay, we get the wrong message when we're attempting to create a task with the wrong title. And obviously it's not creating the task yet because we're doing the middleware to sort of validate that we can't do the right thing. So this is the wrong message here. Now if we go back, I have the validator open. I believe somewhere in here is something about a custom message. So let's search for message. Okay, validator error has the message in it, so we should be able to get the message. I think I wonder if we can get a toString out of that. Oh wait, I vaguely remember there was a toString. Message and code. Okay, each validator can take 2 optional arguments in addition to their own arguments. A message to go with the error. Okay, and then a code, but we're not worried about the code. We just want message, which is going to look like, so validate message equals message string. Okay, that's what we want. So inside of our create task extractor, here is this. Okay, so validate length. Okay, so this property string. Now, is there a better, yeah, validate length minimum. Okay, so we have like a message that goes in here then. So message equals, and then this would be just something, right? So priority must be a single character. Okay. I don't know if that's exactly what it needs to be. Validate. All right. Now, do we have like a string? What are our validation options here? We have those custom ones, which we could use. Range, length. Oh, I think required is one of them, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not seeing something like a string, but I think required is, yeah, validate required. Okay. So we'll do a required. I think you might even have to be like an option or something. But okay, let's try this. Validate required. And this wants to have expected missing task title. Okay, so let's try this one. And I should be able to extract that out here. Okay, so we have our errors coming in. I believe that I can get the errors in some kind of array or vector. Let's see. So if I do errors dot What can we do with this? Nothing. You don't have any what type of error it is, do you? Not in here. Okay. Let let error equals errors dot. Oh, you're not showing me anything. And let's see. Hmm. I don't I don't think there's a kind or anything else like that. Let's go see. Okay. Put back the debug. If I do that, oh yeah, I still don't get access to it. What type are you? Oh, you're nothing? Do I have an error? I do have an error. Okay. Validate unreachable code. No method name validate. Found for validate create task. Okay, so you're upset. Do you need to be an option? Something like that. No, that's not it. Are you upset with this message? Entered unreachable code. Okay, maybe it's you. Oh, it was you. Okay, so that that was interesting. Okay, so if I do validate, did I use the wrong validate? Okay, so required message equals that again. Oh, now it likes it. Okay. Well, that was my problem the entire time. Okay, so now here we can get errors. Oh, field errors. That sounds familiar. I think this gives me gives me a hash map, which is not necessarily what I want. But I can do into errors. That also gives me a hash map. Although we can go through this. Errors, also a hash map. Is there anything that gives me a vector? ToString just gives me a ToString. Let's try this and debug out what you are. All right, so let's rerun our tests again. And okay, so we have this title missing task title. Okay. We wanted what? Oh, you just completely failed. Cannot read properties of undefined reading data. Probably because I have this to do, and so it doesn't return anything at all. It just okay. I could do a rejection here, so I would want to do an early return of an error with an app error inside. Status code. So this is going to be a status code. Bad request for a 400. And then the message. Let's try errors to string and see if it likes that. I'm guessing it's not going to because it has that entire field name on it, which I don't think that it wants. Okay, so if we do that, let's try the test again. Yeah, okay, so I have this title, missing task title, and I just wanted the missing task title. Okay, so close. We can get the errors out. Okay, so let all the errors, if I shadow that, errors dot. Now, if I do, field errors gives me, a hash map of the correct value and then a vec. Oh, interesting. Okay, so a hash map gives me this thing, a hash map with a stir. I wonder if that's the field value. And then the errors, because there could be multiple errors. Okay, let's try that. Is there anything else that gives me an errors? Doesn't look like it. Errors itself gives me a hash map of stir validation errors, which I'm not exactly sure what the difference here is. We have a vector of that and a validation error. Okay, let's try errors first. Okay, so we have this hash map of stirs. We can loop through this and then maybe return just the first one. So let's try a for let error in errors and sort of see what we got. I don't need to do a for let. What language is this? Okay, for error in errors, we can maybe do an early return for this error to string it maybe. What are you? You are a, oh, I potentially don't care about which one that is. The toString exists for reference, errors, validation kind, but its trait bounds were not satisfied. Oh, it has display. It's required for display. Okay, so that's the wrong one. So let's try the field errors. Okay, so you're a vec of validation error. Okay, so you're a vector of validation errors, which means we need to do another loop through here. So this is not looking great. I could map this or reduce it. Let's just to see if we can get it working. We're gonna do for error message in error dot, I guess error. Maybe I'll just call this E. And I want to now return out of here. So just give me the first one. I guess I could probably also do the first, like give me first. Okay, so return error. And then I want return this as E. Let's see what it thinks this is. That completely crashed. Did that run? Let's find out if that ran. Run you again, and let's see if we get this debugged out. Okay, so we got the not yet implemented here. And on line 46, we got that. We got the toString there. I just missing the task title, which is this one here. Okay. I mean, it's super close to exactly what we want. I feel that title missing task title. I could also like just strip this off and send that on its way. I feel like that's not the appropriate way to do it. I wonder if there's a better way, like maybe not toString, maybe into errors. Maybe no, we tried that one. Is empty. The toString is the one that made the most sense. Field errors potentially. Okay, so if I did this field errors here, I'm curious about what we actually get. Look at that. Okay, so inside of each field error, we have an object, which is this validation error with a message inside. Okay, so, all right, so we have field errors. So we get these field errors. Let's name these field errors. I want to basically get the first one of these. If let some, I think if I do that, we get the first error. So field errors. Let's do an iter first. Oh, okay. That's not. That doesn't work the way I would expect it to. I guess we can loop through it. So for field error in field errors. Now you are going to be a tuple with the key and the value. The key is probably going to be the field itself, which I don't think we really care about, and then the actual error. Now this error looks like this, and I want to reach into it and get the message. So I want to return error, status code, bad request, and the error message. If you have a toString, that would be great too. Oh, because you're a vector now. Okay. Right, you're a vector of these validation errors. Okay, so I need to get the first one here. So we can get error dot first, which gives me this option. Now, if we have an error, I think that we can assume that there is one. So let's try this. If we unwrap you and then, yeah, there we go. Then I can get the message like that. So let's put you in here. Oh, and you take an app. Okay, so this is an app error. App error new, please. Maybe. The trait bound. Oh, and then I want this to be, we can do like a to owned gives me, so it's a cow. I want to deref it. Can I deref you? Okay. Oh, because it's an option cow. Okay, so do I need to unwrap you? And then toString. Cannot move out of shared reference. Okay. So let's unwrap. Do I want to clone you at that point? Yeah. Okay. I guess technically it works. Let's find out if that does it. So what do we get back? Ooh, okay. So we should not be able to create a task when not logged in, and we cannot create a task without all the required data, which means we're sending back the correct error message. Okay, so we got this part is working. Now, is there a better way to do this? There probably is. It is working because we know that like if there is an error, so we know that there is at least one error, which means that I feel safe doing all these unwraps here because because of that. So I could put a comment in going like, feel safe unwrapping because we know there is at least one error and we only care about the first for this API. Okay. So just a little message to myself in the future in case I need like, why did I do this? Okay, but it makes the test pass. So we got to that point. Now we want to return out what what this validate create task is. The problem here is that our title is now an option, which means it would be a sum title. And I don't necessarily want that. Everything else being an option is okay, not the title. Was there an incoming? There's this request task that looks exactly like what I want though. So I think what I want to do is then turn this into a request task. So we are going to oh, and you're upset now. Expected 3 arguments, found 1. Tell me more. You're not telling me more. I think I need 1 more of these. For this thing, impl or results. Okay, so you're not going to be a self. You're going to be in a request task like that. All right, let's fix this really quickly. Oh, cannot find value body in this scope. Where did I have body? Oh, this is body. Okay. I don't need this at all because we're going to send now a request task. Okay, priority. That's going to be, do we have access to like a self or something? We have a from request. Okay, that got rid of that error because I was trying to do self, I think, on it. Async from request has incompatible. Oh, okay. We'll deal with that in a second. So request task. We have request. I have this validate request task. This is for that. I don't think I can do this as like with a self. I think you'll be. Yeah, we can't do that. So I can't just get access to self from this. But I do have this task here. Okay, so we can use you. So we'll do task dot priority. Task dot title, and we can unwrap because we absolutely know that you're there because we validated it. And task dot description. Okay. Okay. Now, what are you upset about? Method from request has an incompatible type for trait expected function pointer. Function request. Result. Validate. Create task. Oh, can this not? Does this have to be a self on it? I don't remember. I thought I could return whatever I want. I forget though. I change the output type to match the trait. So this does need to be a validate create task. So it needs to be this thing. Well, then never mind. Okay, you need to be that. Which means you are. Oh, can I make you not an option then? Let's find out. Yeah, this needs to be so expected. So if this is required with missing task title, I absolutely need to have an option here, unfortunately. Which I guess just means that we'll have to update where we use it. So this will be just okay with the task that we're passing on through. Okay, that's how we'll work it. Now this technically works now. So back into create task, I should be able to task, okay, validate create task. We get the task here in our extractor. And let's re-enable all of these. Okay, So task. Priority set. This is going to be just task.priority. This is going to be task.title, but we need to unwrap you because you're an option. Description is task.description. Everything else is okay. We created mismatch types expected. Okay, so let's take away the to do also. Hey, okay. No error messages. Let's see if this works now. So we're gonna rerun our tests. Hey, and all three passed. Okay, so we're now able to successfully create a task. We can handle creating a task when we're not logged in, or rather, don't allow them to create the task when they're not logged in. And if we like don't pass in like a string or something, that also successfully errors out. So perfect. Before I do anything else, I do want to handle some of these errors though. So unused imports, bytes, we don't need that. We don't need this into response or this request task. I like to pull all the uses together. Okay. This state, we're not using it, but it's part of this. It's part of this. So I'm just going to underscore that. Okay. Response. We don't need this response. We don't need this request task here either. Okay. No more errors. Let's rerun the tests again. And I would imagine they're still going to pass. Excellent, they do. Which one more thing before we do anything else. Let's go find this one, remove the only on it, and make sure that everything still works. And okay, everything is still working. We're able to still do all of our user CRUD stuff and the creating of the task. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much for watching. I'm glad that this worked out, and I look forward to the next one, which is going to be getting all tasks. I will see you then, and bye. Hello, Mr. Halsey. Sorry about not being able to say hi. I was recording a video for YouTube. How are you doing today? I've seen you streaming every once in a while, more regularly, so that's awesome. Okay, so that's creating a task here, and then next up is going to be getting all tasks. Yeah, I need a big red live recording sign, but I also need to somehow put the live recording sign not in the video, which I'm not exactly sure how to do unless I don't use the same OBS to record. Like, I suppose because I'm using two computers for this, I could have, this might actually work. I could have another OBS on this computer, the one I'm programming on, that does the recording. And then that way I can put an overlay for you that won't go onto the recording. Maybe we can try that sometime in the future. That could be fun. Or I need to create an extension that goes over the screen so just on your end you can see it. That could also potentially work. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so this is gonna be getting all tasks. Let's go ahead and commit these up. Okay, so this is create task, create a task, and Okay. So this is create create a task or create task. Create tasks. Yeah, create tasks. That's fine. Stacking, you wonder how the M1 Max is with streaming. You've been thinking about doing some streaming before you got a streaming computer. Yes. So remember when I did the test when I was at my parents' place on the what was it? It's that satellite internet. That was just directly off of the M1 Max. So it seems to be just fine. Although if I hit the CPU a little bit too hard with like Rust stuff, it does have a little bit of trouble. I do wonder if I could profile that and like give some CPUs a little bit access to OBS permanently. That might be work. That might be good. So it seemed to have no problem whatsoever. Uh, let's see what else. Something that I was wondering about for like a relatively cheap two system streaming setup would be a Steam Deck. Like could a Steam Deck be used as the streaming PC in a two computer um, programming setup? Because a Steam Deck is meant to play games, so it has enough CPU to handle stuff. Uh, it doesn't need to be like really big. It has its own little monitor. I can just set it up on a little stand, and then you just jump into the Linux part of it, install OBS, and then maybe it would just work. I do need to somehow get my display into that, but with a capture card that should work. A capture card that's compatible with Linux should still work for that. The macOS scaling resolution could be a bit of a problem. It didn't seem to be too much of a problem for me. Um, so this winter, I'm probably going to do a little tiny bit of traveling. I will bring my computer and I'll probably do one stream at the least. And so at that time, we'll do another test on it. I don't know if it would be the same time frame. Okay. Next is going to be get all tasks. Okay. So get all tasks. These get easier and easier as we go along because we have more things set up for us. So I'm gonna jump back into the recording, and then we'll move into this one. Unless, of course, I have to sneeze. All right. I should be good now. Okay. Get all tasks. Let's do this. And here we go. All right, it's time for us to work on getting all the tasks. Looks like there's going to be 4 parts to this. We're going to have to get all my tasks. And then several guard tests. So we should not be able to get tasks when we're logged out. We should not be able to get other users' tasks, and we should not be able to get deleted tasks. We might be able to do this all in sort of one go here. So let's go ahead and set things up. Let's reduce your size down quite a bit, and I'll keep those up there. Okay, so project solution routes tasks. Do this as get all tasks. I don't know about you. I personally like to have my mods at the top with the uses below them. So we're gonna do a mod, get all tasks. Okay, so we have a pub async function get all tasks. Let's also head back into the router and we'll use you. Okay, so tasks. Here's this one. Okay, so we have create task. Want get all tasks. Oh, yeah, tasks. Oh, I need to public it. I need to public it. It's your pub. Okay, there we go. Get all tasks. Get all tasks. And then now I can get one of those tests for free done just by putting it above the middleware that requires authentication. So we get a route. We want API v1 tasks. Following standard REST, get all will just be a GET request to tasks. Okay, seems easy enough. We'll throw you in there. Okay, so far so good. Now we also need to get all of my tasks. So we have access to our user, which means we have access to our user ID, which means we do need that as an extension. So let's get extension. So we have our user extension. This is going to be a model from, well, let's actually pull this in, right? So I want to use create database users model as user model. Okay, we have access to our user. We need the database, so that's state. So state is going to be our DB is state database connection. Okay. Is there anything else we need in here? I don't necessarily think so. We're not gonna like JS anything or yeah, there's nothing else coming in. It's just get all. So we're gonna return a result. Now if we're successful, it's gonna be a JSON with a vector of response tasks. A response data task. Oh, we probably want. I bet that what I did was it has a data in it. So this is gonna be slightly different. So our response task is correct, but this probably needs to be a vector in here. Now it potentially could do something like like a T type, but think just to like make this a little bit faster, let's do pub struct. This is gonna be a response data tasks, so multiple data, and then this is gonna be a vec response task. So it's so close to the other one. We're not yet violating the rule of 3. If you're not familiar, the rule of 3 is if I do something 3 times, then I need to like collapse it down. I don't always follow the rule of 3. Sometimes I collapse it down if it's less than 3. For this one, I want to wait and see if it makes sense, because this could potentially change for multiple types too. And this is like a response for creating. So let's just wait and see. We do need to derive. So we're going to derive serialize and deserialize. Okay, this is response data tasks. So JSON response data tasks. And if this fails, it's going to be an app error. Okay, now let's get the stuff right. So we have a we want we know we are a user and we're authenticated, so we want to get all of our tasks. Also, that just happen to be deleted, so they have the null in that position. Okay, so I guess that means we just want our tasks. So task equals, so it's gonna be, oh, we want use create. So let's go to database tasks. We want the entity as tasks. Okay, so I can go to tasks. Let's find. We're going to filter. Okay, so we don't want just all tasks. We want all tasks owned by this user. So that's going to be tasks. Column user ID is equal to, okay, so sum user.id. Okay, so that's the first filter. So those are all my tasks. Then also I want to make sure, so I can't get other users' tasks. And I also want to make sure that I don't get any deleted tasks. So we want to filter, so tasks, this is column deleted at. Now we have equal, but I want null. Yeah, is null. Okay, so I want to make sure that deleted at is null. I think that's it. Is there an all? There is an all. So reference to DB, we await you. We can map this error. We'll eprint line. This is an error getting all tasks. Pass in that error, and we'll return an app error. This should be an internal, right? So status code, internal server error, so a 500, and error getting all tasks. I don't think we have a test specifically for this one yet. All right, that gives us a vec of model. Do I want to potentially map this into the appropriate type right now? Probably. So we're going to do a map. Oh, we can't do that. We have to. Now, I think, so we have ownership of this one. So I might as well do an into iter. So let me pull this down here. I might as well do an into iter, and then we're going to map you. So this is going to take essentially a DB task, and I want to convert this into a response task. So a response, response task like that. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I promise you, VS Code. Everything's going to be okay. So for this ID, we want the DB task dot ID. We want the title. So DB task dot title. The description also. So DB task dot description, and same thing for priority. So DB task dot priority. Completed at DB task dot complete at. Now you're a fixed offset. I wonder, I can't remember if Serde is going to be okay with that. All right, so we do the map. We now need to collect you into what? A vector of response task. Okay, so response task. Okay, excellent. So now we have that. We still haven't returned the right thing yet, but that's okay. Now we're going to return an okay with a JSON And this is the response data tasks, where you have data is going to be the tasks. There we go. Okay, you're mostly happy. This completed at mismatched, expected. Okay, so mismatch types, expected an option with a string, found an option with this one. So I probably just want like a toString on that, but it's an option. So I need to get it out of the option and then turn it back into the appropriate thing. Okay. So we want this completed at, I mean, I guess we could do an if let. Otherwise it's a none. So if let some, this is going to be the completed at equals you. I guess no matter what, we're going to have that there. It's kind of like a long one here. So we're going to return completed at toString. Otherwise, we're going to return a none. That's it. Although, you know what? That doesn't make sense for me to do. Oh, this would be a sum. So for example, this should work. It's not the best idea, because if I want to do something where I'm just else returning a none, I might as well just map through the option. So let's try that next. So we're gonna have db task dot completed at. We're gonna map through this. This only maps through if it's a successful thing. So we have the completed at, and I want to return completed at dot toString. To string, please. String. There we go. And I accidentally killed you. There we go. So it states if it's a none, it doesn't run the map. If it's a sum, it runs the map, converts it into another thing, and then returns that. Okay, excellent. So everything is happy. Let's see if all of our tests are passing at once, or if we miss something. Also, I want to put a, let's see, this is create a task, get all tasks. This is ours. I'm put an only on this. Hey, and everything passed. We're able to create all this tasks. Well, all of our user CRUD ran as well too. I think I needed to, I put an only on this one. I guess so. But if I take you away, everything should still work. We don't even have any warnings. There we go. Okay. We have, get all tasks. That is skipped. Should we get all my tasks? Oh, this is the one I was supposed to do and only on. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I did the only on the wrong one. I wanted on this one. So let's run you and make sure that this is working. Oh, almost. We came so close. Okay, so what happened here? We should be able to get all of my tasks. Also, I do want to remove all the skips on these too. So remove you and remove you. Okay, but should be able to get all my tasks. That is failing for some reason. We expected 5. We received 3. What happened here? So did we really create 5, or were we supposed to give it some of the default ones, like the default ones? The the default tasks that you're sort of like given to. Let's take a look at this test. Okay, so we get the base task. We just expect it to have length of 5. Um, expect not to have the is default property. So when we create, what do we do when we create this? Oh yeah, look at this. I created 3 tasks for this user, but I expect it to have 5, which means that when I create, okay, so when I create the account, I need to find the 2 tasks that are marked with is default, clone them, and now insert them as a brand new task here. Okay, so that's what's going on. Okay. It's a little bit of a trick on my side for myself, but it's also appropriate here because we're doing these sort of like full stack. I guess not full stack because it's just the back end. This is thin vertical slices where this is now, hey, if I want to get all my stuff, that includes the default ones. So under users, when we create a brand new account, I also need to set the tasks for them, which means I need to get the tasks. So at this point in time, we have the new user. Convert active to model. Okay, so we have this. Well, I have this convert active to model. Probably could have used that. I completely forgot I even had that over in tasks. Okay, so we have this one here. I need to now get the tasks. Okay, so we need to use create database task entity as tasks. Okay, how is this going to work? I could potentially put this into users as well. Now, this isn't necessarily part of routes. I don't want to put anything like into database for like any special things going on there. Let's put it right here and sort of like make the decision after that of, is this the best place for it to go? I don't think that anybody else needs this ever. It just happens when the user thing happens. So this is, we have to find the default tasks. So let default task equals, okay, so we're going to task. We want to find, we're going to filter. Import you from database tasks. Okay, so I want to find where the column. Now your is default is true. Okay, is equal to, I believe, a sum true. So basically, I just want to make sure that this is not null, which I think there's like a not null here. Is not null. There we go. That's what I want. I seem to have an extra parentheses here. Let's also make sure it's not deleted. I don't actually think we have that as a problem in the database, but just in case. So we have tasks, column, deleted at, not. Okay, so this should also be is not null. Okay, so is default is not null, deleted at is not null. That gives us all of these default tasks. Let's get all of these. We'll wait. We'll map the error. ePrint line. There we go. All right, so this is error getting default tasks. And I want to return a brand new app error. So this is also an internal server error. And this is error applying default tasks to new account. Okay, so that gives me a vec of model, which each model being the default task. That's fine. Now for each of those models, I now want to save those and put them in new user. So we could potentially do like a bulk insert or something else like that. For this application, like it's a toy app. I don't worry about it that much, but also this would not be used by too many people. So I'm a big fan of not necessarily worrying about trying to do big things like bulk imports, especially if it's only going to be two things at a time, until that is proven to be like any cause of slowness. So let's just loop through our default tasks here and set them and then save them, and then that should be fine. So if I do a for default task and default tasks, taking ownership of this should be fine because they're going to be gone soon anyways. So we want to convert. Now, I don't want to convert this into a model because I don't want to actually create I need to create a brand new task. Okay, so we're going to do a let, this is going to be a new task equals, this is going to be tasks. I want this to be an active model. Okay, so we don't know what the ID is going to be. That's fine. We want the default. Okay, priority. I think that the priority is set on the default task. So this is going to be task dot priority. Oh, not task. I want this to be default task dot priority. There we go. No, not box pin. Okay. Priority. There we go. Title. Default task dot title. We have completed that. This should be null already. And so I mean, I could just set these. These are all default tasks dot completed at, like whatever these are, that's what it's set to. And I think we should be fine. So default task dot description, default task dot deleted at, because I don't remember if we have ones that are like set to be deleted at or not, so you can actually see them. Default task dot user ID, and this one, it is set to be true on that one. We want you to be none, so I don't want you to. User ID. Well, this is not true. I don't want this to be the same as the default task. User ID is going to be the user.id. Okay, so deleted that. Description completed. Okay, so you need to be okay. I've done this incorrect. We need this to have a set in front of it. So let me multi-cursor this really quickly. It's gonna be set like that. You need to be a sum also. Okay. All right. So far, so good. Then we're going to save you. So we're going to do task save. Pass it a reference that DB. We await. We can map the error. So do ePrint line error creating task from defaults. Pass in that error, and we'll have an app error. All right, another internal server error. Status code, internal server error, and what are you? You're gonna be, I guess, like error saving new default task for user. Okay, and I don't actually think we need to save this task anywhere. We're just going to just sort of let that go. Um, and we should be good to go. We have this task here. Why are you saying? Okay, there we go. So we loop through you, we save you. Let's see if this works. Run our tests again. Oh, and well, okay, the user's cred. So we create a new user. We don't get all the tasks. Should not be get other users' tasks. That's still happening? Should not be able to get other users' tasks. Expected 5. Oh, same problem. So we don't have the right number of tasks that are being created here. Now I'm trying to set the user ID to be set some user ID here. So there is that. I am saving you. We're awaiting. And we're mapping that error. Okay, that seems to be right. I'm making sure that default is not that. Maybe not exactly sure what's happening in the database of what we're supposed to be getting. Let's try just like debugging out like just some information about this. So this is going to be about to save default task for user. I want this to be the default, maybe like a reference to the default task. Dot title. Okay, you're happy. Let's run these tests, and let's see if we actually get that. We got a lot. Infinite loop. Okay, kill that. Well, that's not great to save this many things into the database. Okay, so in default, how many default tasks did I get? Do I have? So I want if is default is not null. Okay, so first of all, let's go take a look at what the schema is in the database again, because apparently I've forgotten that. So I want to add a folder to our workspace. So inside of the full stack Rust course, we have database here, and we can see the init.sql that we use. So in tasks, we have this is default. Oh, okay. So it's a Boolean default false. Oh, so I was wrong. It is not nullable. Wait, not null. It is not nullable. Yes, so we can oh no, it is nullable. But the default is false, which means we need to look for true. So an option true. Okay. So that we created a lot of tasks for that user. We probably duplicated every task that we had in the database. Okay, so that's not what we wanted. So we want to search for default task filter. So is default is equal to a sum true. Let's try that. We need to restart our server too. We'll test you and let's see what we get. Validation error. Okay. Well, the validation error is fine. So we have the same problem here where we expected to get 5. Did that not run? Oh, okay. So this if this debug didn't run at all, which it didn't, then that means that it's an empty. So we didn't find any at all. So let's try not having to delete that. Just make sure that I'm not like accidentally filtering out a little bit too much. But I want is default to be something and that it's true. Let's try this next. Hey, that worked. Okay. And so now we can see about to save for the default tasks. So we have I am a task. You can complete me, see my details. And then it happened again for, I think, do we have multiple users? I think we might have 2 users that we were creating. But that passed all of these tests. Okay, excellent. So we have get all tasks passing. Let's take out this debug here. We're also realizing we have this is a debug also on create task extractor. We don't need that. Where were you? That was task inside of you. This debug we don't need. Okay, close you down. We have no warnings, so everything is still good. Now in get all tasks, everything here I think is fine. In create user, the question is, should this remain in here or should we create like another function for this? I'm not exactly sure. It is pretty busy and this function is now like really long. So we're like getting the default tasks, looping through them and saving them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function just down here just to break things up a little bit, get a name to that entire block of code. So we're going to have a private function, so an async function, maybe like create default tasks for user. We know we're going to need the DB, which is a reference to a database connection. We know we need the user, which is going to be a model. So this user model. And besides that, I'm not exactly sure what we need. We're just going to return a result with nothing or an app error. Okay, so we're going to take these default tasks and then loop through it. Going to cut those out and put them in here. Okay, that's kind of happy. So this DB doesn't need you, doesn't need you. All right, what's upset? For default tasks, okay, expected some kind of return. So this for loop is attempting to return. We don't want that. We're just going to return an okay with nothing in it. All right, you're happy. Let's now call create default tasks for user after we get this user. So create default task for user. We hand it a reference to the DB. We hand it this user. Now, this is taking ownership of the user, isn't it? I don't want to take ownership. I could potentially clone it. Let's try taking a reference of that and seeing how this feels. We need to await this and then question mark. Okay. So this is a little bit better. This function is still has a lot going on, but most of it is just error handling. And at least we have a name for this now. Okay. So let's run our tests again. And everything should still work. Let's also double check. I didn't put any onlys on here, right? I don't think so. We have, yeah, these are all running. We don't have any onlys. Excellent. And everything is still working. Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. And looks like next one is going to be get one task. So I look forward to that. I will see you in that video. Bye. Okay, so get all tasks is done. Get one task. Get one task is next. I think that's going to be even easier. So get all tasks. But I'm also out of time. It's 8:14, and my end of stream is usually around 8:15, so not enough time to do this this lesson, even if it'd be fast. Let's rename the video. Okay, this is get all tasks. So I have realized something that would have been really nice that I didn't do. And maybe we can do like a refactoring to this. Like maybe we could do that as part of this video, or maybe I'll just say, hey, this is something that like future stuff if you want to like improve on this. Creating, I don't know if I want to do it inside of this database folder because a lot of these are generated. Although I could put like a queries file in here. I mean, I can't do, and it's too late. Like by the time I would have decided, it's yeah, no, I can't even think of what videos to do in 1 minute. I could put queries in here, and then maybe like a queries folder, and then we'd have one for tasks and one for users, and then everything that's doing like the actual database type stuff is happening inside of there. And that would allow, like, for example, in this create user here, everything that we're doing for like database things, especially all these error handlings, moves out of there. So maybe at the end of the project, once we have everything working, we can do a refactor showing like, hey, when you use tests like these, this is the power that you get. You get the power of refactoring without like, being super scared. Okay, but that's all later. Tomorrow I'm going to be heading into the office, so I won't be streaming. I will be back on Thursday morning though, to work on to continue recording videos for this and doing the one task. So with that, thank you for hanging out with me today while we recorded. Sorry for not being able to interact too much during these, but we're like halfway through the project, so I'm happy about that. And with that, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.